Hello my friends and welcome to episode 8 of our Barcelona Football Manager 21 Let's Play on the beta, of course. This could be the last episode with Barcelona. In fact, I'm pretty certain it will be. I've done nothing wrong here. I've not really done anything. Have I had issues with the team? Of course I have. I've been trying to sell a lot of the sort of key senior players to bring in new players, and I felt like, you see Busquets is still there, Coutinho is still there, Griezmann's still there, Longley is still there. Longley I wasn't actually going to sell, I was going to keep him, but something, a little bit's changed. You can see we've made some really good signings there that the board is really happy with. Criticisms, some of the finances on the sales and one on the ends, fair enough. I can accept those criticisms, and they are not an issue. But as you can see, we've got 153 million in the bank. We only were getting 30% of our sales, so of the sales that we made, we've got very little of that to spend, which means that it helps the club out. We're still doing that. But Barcelona has their elections on the 22nd of July 2021. Now, in real life it's March, I believe they've made that. In the game it's the 22nd of July. And unfortunately, we're a casualty of this time around. As you can see, personal message from Javi Santos. No investment. Of my intention to appoint a new manager. We'll take a decision on your future shortly. My manager performance, as you've seen, went on a home screen, has gone from what was a B plus to an E instantly. So this guy really doesn't like me. That's fair enough. He doesn't like me. It's kind of where we're at. Unfortunately, he's waiting until the end of July to do this, because I could have continued on, going into the staff job centre. Right now, job security, probably easier. These are the jobs that are available. Now, I will guarantee you that these jobs were not, or it would be a different set of jobs that were available at the end of last season. So we could have continued on there, or we could have started a new save and made that decision. Obviously I'm going to have to make the decision in advance to make sure that there's an episode for either, like a proper episode for tonight or tomorrow. So we will continue on. I am expecting 100% to get sacked. As you say there, precarious. Apparently our finances are rich now. Finances, what did we have? We've got 153 million in the bank. That's pretty much all from my sales, isn't it? Why? Are they shown at the end of here? Yes, they are. So our sales were Marc-Andre Ter Stegen for 47.5 million, Mteti for 22 million, Pjanic for 43 million, Neto we got about 10, 25 for Jordi Alba, Wagner was 3 million, Firpo was 13 million. On the ends, we brought in Haaland for 69 million, as you knew. We brought Garcia and Donnarumma in for free. Maria, he's in the B team. Olmo, overspent a little bit on Olmo, but he's homegrown. I felt like he was good, a good player. So I did overpay for him, but I was happy to do that. He's worth £58 million, long-term contract, 23 years old, only 60 grand a week, so actually helping reduce the wage budget a little bit. Volner Fadanes, direct replacement for Neto for 1.8 million, obviously a bit of a channel legend, and we brought in Malinowski from Atlanta for 4.9 million. He's a steal for 4.9 million, adds a bit of depth, and realistically at this point I kind of knew Pjanic was gone, or he was either going or gone, and I was still getting bids for Coutinho at that point. Coutinho has rejected every single club, so has Griezmann, so has Busquets. Those three have been an absolute nightmare, and I only listed Longley late in the window when Joe Gomez became available. Now, as you see, these are all sort of young lads away out on loan. Joe Gomez became available, and it was through, the little meetings you get where you have recommended players. My staff have been constantly looking at centre backs since I got here, because PK's ageing, Longley's okay. But other than that, the depth is young players. So they keep saying about PK's going to retire soon, we need to be looking at this. And they came up to me and said, Joe Gomez is available for 23 to 35 million pounds sort of window. And I looked at him and I went, he's worth 55 million. why is this? And it turns out he wanted a new contract at Liverpool. Liverpool weren't willing to offer that contract. They had not listed him yet, which I think was key. So I put in 25 million with 7.5 million in instalments. We got him for 32.5, and then I thought, do you know what? That works out because we've got loads of young lads that we've promoted. I've got it set to wages just now, just so I could understand wages. But if we have a look at positions, so we've got, you know, loads of young lads promoted. So we've got Todibo, he's back from Benfica. He was going to play this season. We'd have Joe Gomez. We'd have Longley, who we could sell, who was wanted. So we're potentially going to get bids for him. So that would be a direct swap for Joe Gomez. Would get £20 million profit and an extra 10 grand a week on the wage budget. Isn't obviously ideal, but you know, a straight swap. PK obviously still there. We've promoted Alejandro Balde. He is the young lad who I said I wanted to promote and give him a chance. He's going to be our backup left back. He was going to be our backup left back for this season. So I felt like this was a really, really good window for us. I was really happy with the squad. You know, there was a couple of sales I still wanted to make, as I said, the 4 more sales, which would have then maybe brought in 1 more player. That was all I was bringing in was, you know, if we sold all 4 of these guys, we maybe bring in 1, maybe 2 at a push. Obviously the board has different views. We're going to continue on ahead because, as I said, I'm expecting to get sacked now. It does say we've got a friendly here against PSG. I don't play my friendlies, so that's fine. I'm expecting to get sacked, so I've kind of brought you back now early for this reason, because I don't want to show you guys nothing really. Now, pre-season hasn't been great. We had a few testimonials, so we had Messi's testimonial and Busquets' testimonial. We won none. In fact, we've actually only won 1 game in pre-season, so that's not quite so great. Now, I don't manage the pre-season friendlies, as I say. I really wanted Messi's friendly to be against Newell's, you know, Newell's Old Boys, the team that he started out with before Barcelona. But you can't have a friendly away from home and they won't travel to Spain. And there's no option to pay them to travel to Spain. So that's why I done Rangers, just because they're my club really, and they beat us. Again, I didn't manage that wasn't fabricated. We'll just keep the current dimensions. I kind of just want to get sacked now. Just sack me, and then I know where I stand. Igor Gomez is now homegrown. Oh, it's like Marshall. Come on, just make a decision, please. How long do I have to wait? Yeah, you see here, it's all B's, C's. Looking forward to seeing how we're on the pitch. And it's an E. The board don't like you, you're getting an E apparently. But they're not making a decision, which really frustrates me, because if they made a decision, I know where I stand. I kind of know where I stand, but they might not sack me, you know, it might be one of those things. It's part of the game that allows you to keep your job slightly. I don't think that's going to be the case. But right now I have to stop all my transfer plans. You know, is it even worthwhile looking at this? I mean, it's only free, so we'll skip through. But there's no point in even realistically looking at that because we're expecting to get sacked. So I think what I'll do is I will jump back to when we have a decision, and I'll let you guys know rather than going through all this, because it seems to be, you know, a fair amount. So I'll see you in a second, guys. It's a false alarm, guys. The support from the players has been just enough for us to keep our job. Now, first game is in a few days' time, so we will skip ahead to that this episode. But I'm relieved because I didn't want to start a new save for the beta. I feel like we've done a really good job building a squad here. Now, I went through all that. We'll have a couple more transfers before the end of the window, I imagine. As I say, still players I want to get out. Fatty kicked off a bit because I accidentally didn't register him in the squad, which was a complete accident on my part, really. I meant to take Griezmann out and put him in, but I didn't realise he actually needed to be registered. I thought his age meant he didn't need to be registered, but all the players that we promoted from the youth team last season are now over 18, so they all have to be registered. It's not under 21 like it is in Europe. So that's my knowledge of the league messing me up. So Griezmann will come out, he'll go in. Hopefully that encourages Griezmann to accept a contract offer elsewhere. Now, I can't record the game just now because I've got to go out literally right now. So it'll be tonight that I record that. So I'm going to start a personal save basically. In the meantime, usually I try and do, a recording, and then when I can't record, I'll get to the next record point and then record that. So I'm going to start a personal save, get a bit more used to the game between now and then. Overall, we've managed to keep our job by the skin of our teeth. We're back up to C. Easy done, easy done. Anyway guys, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you know I'm not ending this episode, we're having a game. Excuse me, so we've got Atletico Pamplona, that'll be up next. I'll see you in a second for that. And I nearly started this game without hitting record. We are back for this game. It's been about 4 days since I recorded the last part of this episode. Partly down to, general sort of life stuff, and partly down to I started a personal save that I wanted to get through. I've done a season with Rangers, and I'm thinking of bringing a tactic over from that to this save. I think it would transition reasonably well. Issue being, I don't think it would necessarily suit Messi, as well as the current tactic, but again, that's something that we can look at. So I'm thinking of doing that. Right now we're playing with the old tactic. We're going with this sort of, just try and get everyone happy. Right now, since the players saved me from my job, they've been absolute horrible to me. PK came, requested a new contract. Fine, great, whatever. Not happening. So I said no. The whole squad kicked off about that. Right, fair enough. Stood my ground. They're all pretty angry. And then there was a second squad revolt because they wanted to let Coutinho go. So I was like, this is confusing me a bit. I have offered Coutinho out multiple times. We've had one bid for him which he turned down. Despite me offering him £15 million in compensation, he still turned it down. And now the squad's angry that I've not let him go. There's been no other bid since I've offered him out countless times. I want to let Coutinho go, so I was pretty annoyed with that. And I don't know if that's a bug or not, because there was no offers. Coutinho hadn't actually approached me and requested to go. In fact, he was actually pretty angry that he was being transfer listed and offered out and whatnot. That's frustrating. Squad we've gone with today is pretty much full strength. We've got Donnarumma, Gomez, Mbabu, Eric Garcia in over PK. We've got Alejandro Balde at left back because Grimaldo was injured. Midfield, Olmo, De Jong, goal from Haaland there, his first goal for the club on his debut. And Pedri. Wings are Messi and Fati, and up front is Haaland. So a fairly strong squad. Obviously we're down to 3 subs this year. It's actually a really good ball there from Olmo. Now the reason why I'm thinking of switching tactics to the one I have at Rangers is even on the very attacking, this tactic doesn't create huge amounts of goals. It's okay defensively, not great defensively. The tactic that I had at Rangers, now granted there's a lot of luck to it now. There is a tactics video coming on about how to build your tactic, and that tactic is one of the ones that's shown on it, and that's very much focused on building your tactic around your team. But it created so many goals, it was unbelievable, and it didn't concede a lot either. Now we had a lot of luck throughout the season, I'm not going to deny that. We had an unbeaten treble and we won the Europa League first season. Now that makes me nervous going into the main save that we're going to do, because that's going to be with Rangers, and one, I don't expect to have a season that good, so that makes me nervous that I'm not going to enjoy it as much, because it was really fun. Celtic pushed us all the way. They finished second in the league with 98 points. The only point they dropped, they had a 0-0 draw to Motherwell after the league was won. The only other point dropped was the 4 losses to us, and Haaland scoring again, his second of the game. What other points did they drop? Aberdeen away. The 4 losses to us, Motherwell when the league was already lost, and Aberdeen got 2 late goals to get a 2-2 draw. I think it was like 92 and 95 they scored to get a 2-2 draw. So they didn't drop points all season, so as much as we were winning everything, any drop points was putting us in stress, and realistically it was the 4 games head to head that won us it. Europa League were exceptionally lucky, and there was 2 games. Lazio sticks out. I think that was in the second knockout round, for example, where we scored in the 93rd minute to win the home leg 2-1, and then we lost the away leg 3-2, but it was a 96 minute goal from Ryan Kent that scored us that goal to take us through on away goals. 4-all as Ansu Fati gets his first of the season. We're looking fairly good here, right? This is fairly good, this is positive, particularly when half the squad is in a revolt. So that's why I'm considering bringing this tactic across. One, I know I had a lot of luck that season. I'm not going to deny that. That season would not have been possible without the luck. But the tactic was very solid. You know, there was not a game all season we didn't score in. There was very few games we were forced to chase. You know, in the Europa League, we lost. I think we lost after the Lazio, the second knockout round. We lost every away leg in Europe, and the final went to extra time. We actually dominated extra time. We won 6-2 after extra time, just to highlight that. But I made lots of good decisions as well. And one of the things that was a good decision was the tactics. So I've used that, and I've used a personal save where I've done Valencia for that video, and I hope you all check that out. I'm not sure when that's going to be out. It's just really when I can get the thumbnail done. And right now I'm quite busy now. I do apologise if you hear banging or anything. There's some workmen next door. But I'm recording this literally about 4 hours before it goes live, so I've kind of restricted myself to having to record now. So I apologise if you do hear any banging. So I'm going to go, I'm very pleased. Everyone's happy with that. Brace for Haaland on his debut so far. Our £69 million signing. Olmo played a part in that. Frankie de Jong's having a good game. Alejandro Balde stepping up well. Now I did say I felt like he was the right option to develop him. Hopefully he can develop. Eric Garcia is obviously going to be a top player, which is why I'm giving him game time over PK plus PK being unhappy. Makes it pretty easy for us. And Babu, that's going to be a penalty, I would imagine. Now one thing I noticed again from doing a personal save in a league that doesn't have VAR, you're able to change your penalty takers in those leagues. For whatever reason, when the VAR comes across, down here you would get someone's going to take the penalty and it doesn't come up. Haaland for his hat-trick, a debut hat-trick for Erling Haaland, rather. So good debut from him, or sensational. Whereas when you've got VAR, it pops up, usually in here somewhere. We're going to remove that, but it usually pops up in here. Haaland will take the penalty, change the penalty taker, and that doesn't work because you can't get to that. So I assume that's a bug. I've not reported it as of yet, but I'm not saying I'm not going to. Going to make our first sub. We're going to bring on Messi for Dembele. He's looking a bit tired. Get some fresh legs on there. He's not having the best of games compared to those around him. So let's just get him off the pitches. Erling Haaland. If Haaland continues this form throughout the season, this is going to be a boring season. And I've seen on the forums that he is absolutely broken, and it makes me regret signing him now. I knew he was going to be good. Obviously, when you sign Haaland for £69 million, you know you're buying a top player. And a top young player and it was a position that we needed. So I don't feel bad for buying him, but at the same time, if he's going to be this good, I expect to be winning everything. This isn't a tactic that doesn't create a lot of goals that he scored 4 in. Now granted, this is a one-off game. Barbosa had games like this last season, so we can hope that he's not going to be broken too much. No, cancel that. I'm not bringing off the guy that I subbed on. Trying to bring off Danny Olmo and give him a bit of a rest. Bring on Nico, get him some game time. He was outstanding at the end of last season in the couple of shots that he got. He just kept getting injured with those shots, unfortunately. So I really want to give him game time this season. Malinsky is not the best signing in the world. I kind of gambled on him. There was lots of bids for him. He was transfer listed. He was cheap. So I kind of went for it, and do I regret it? Probably not, because I do think he has good traits. I think he can be a good part of the squad, but he's not a typical signing from me in that sense. Again, if we have a quick look at Malinowski rather, he does have a lot of very good traits, but he's maybe not necessarily Barcelona level. He's 28 years old, which means he's not a typical Don signing. So don't necessarily regret it, but I think it's a gamble that I maybe didn't necessarily need to make, although he was only £4.5 million, so probably reasonable. Todibo is the other player who I really want to give game time to this season, and obviously Joe Gomez was an absolute snip, and I do believe I went through all this, at least I hope I did, but just in case, transfer history, this is the transfer history, ins and outs. Now it doesn't show correct, so do I have to go here? Yeah, so we've got brought in Donnarumma, Garcia, Haaland, Paolo Marilla, who's a very good wonder kid, he's going into the B team. Daniel Olmo, big money, overpaid. Farinez and Malinovsky. And then Joe Gomez, who was an absolute steal because he wanted a new contract. All these guys out on loan, and the actual sales thus far, we have Ter Stegen out, Umtiti out, Pjanic out, Neto out, Alba out, Wagner out, Moriba Poi out on loan, and Firpo away as well. So again, if you want to have a look at that, have a quick look over. I do think I did show you this, so I apologise if I didn't, if I already have. Next episode, we will come back for I'm looking for a Real Madrid game. Where is Real Madrid? Betis, Granada, Sevilla, Sevilla, Atletico. It's our first Real Madrid game, really not until March. It really is. We've got March and then April for Real Madrid, that's crazy. Right, it'll be a Champions League game. We'll come back for a Champions League game next episode. Obviously the draw for that is not done because the qualifiers are still ongoing. But we're not waiting until March to do a next episode, of course. So I'll hopefully catch you all tomorrow for a Champions League game. Hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit like, hit subscribe. I'll hopefully catch you all next time.